Hi, everyone. Patriot 5 here, sitting in my daughter's kitchen. I don't even know what time it is. I've been at the hospital the biggest part of the day with Ron. We had to go over a lot of things for his therapy. We were told that tomorrow he will have his early morning therapy, but his afternoon therapy will more or less be just going over things. I was able to go over with the therapist today things that hi, Mac, hi, Jeffrey, Janet, good to see you. I was able to go over with the therapist today things I want Ron to do when he gets home. And actually, the therapist told me that's a little bit too much and told me what to do. And I told him, fine. They are going to have a therapist coming out at least 2 days, maybe 3 days a week to work with Ron for a couple of months. And as I'm sitting there, guys, because it was a long, lengthy time, it was very, very intense. And as I was sitting there listening, I'm paying attention because I want the best for Ron. But all the while I'm thinking this is, we're going to get these beds soon. Ron's going to get on these beds and he's not going to need this stuff. But the thing I'm emphasizing to Ron when it's just me and him, because I don't talk to a lot of my family members about the beds. I'm going to talk about a couple of the things I talked to them today about. That I really can't believe the stupidity in my loving family. Hi, Bill Woods. I really can't believe it, but we're going to discuss some things. But, doing the afternoon shows, I've not been going Jimmy and Patriot 11. I've not been going Karate Kid and Wyatt Earp. I've not been going Princess Our Queen and Hunter, her brother. I've not been going Boogie Boogs, Boogaloo and Boogaroo, Leona and Leilani. I've not been going my grandkids, gymnasts, super gymnasts, Patriot 7, Patriot martial arts, Patriot Little Monkey and Patriot Kara. I haven't been talking to kids like that because, see, I went back and I watched some old videos. And as Ron said, we used to spend 25 minutes just on the kids. And there's nothing wrong because, guys, this show was made. So we're here for the kids. We brought together a group of people that there's only been a few of us that's met. Ron and myself have met with Diane and Myrna. And I think a couple of you others have met. I know Michael and me are going to, when it gets warmer, we're going to meet if we haven't met before. But we were brought together that we're a family that loves one another. We believe we are each other's family because the way we get treated with our family. So that brings the kids into the play too. Because as you guys know, there's nothing more important to me than kids. And as I'm talking to the kids, I'm going to tell a story of a video I seen last night. Because if it would happen to any of our kids on the show and I find out about it, I would react the same way as this dad did. If it would happen to one of my grandsons, I think I would lose it. But this guy held it together. And anyway, in the video, this guy, he's very upset. His 8-year-old daughter came home and said, Daddy, when I went to the bathroom today at school, 2 boys come in while I was trying to go pee. And the daddy hit the roof. But he calmed himself down. He took the little girl. And it just so happened they were going to have a PTA meeting, where the people in charge of all this is supposed to be looking out for the kids, where the teachers will be there and they're supposed to be looking out for the kids. And when it was his turn to speak, he walked up to the podium and he addressed the people who were sitting up front. And he said, I want to tell you why I'm here. Yesterday, my little girl went to go potty here, going to go to the bathroom here. And he looked at the little girl, his daughter, and says, what happened? And she said, two boys come in while I was trying to go. He said, did you want them boys in there while you was trying to go pee? And she said, no, it's inappropriate. And the man looked like this and he says, an 8-year-old can know it's inappropriate, but teachers thinks it's okay. But you people on the board thinks it's okay. Why are these two boys not being disciplined? They will be disciplined if they ever do it to my daughter again. But what is wrong with you people that you think it's okay for a boy and a girl to go to the bathroom together? And then he looked, and most of the people sitting up in the main front row were women. I think there was one guy, the rest of them were women. And he looked at these women and he says, let me tell you something. The next time all of you ladies have to go to the bathroom, would you let me know so I could go in and watch you? And their faces got like, are you kidding me? He literally said that. And he said, because I just wanted to see what your husbands would say if there was a man going in watching you go to the bathroom. What is the difference? And they all sat like deers caught in the headlights. It is not appropriate. It is not appropriate for a little boy to go into a girl's bathroom. It is not appropriate for a little girl to go into a little boy's bathroom. That's why they say in school, boys and girls. And I'm not going to go into the other things because I don't understand them that well, and I don't want to say something I shouldn't say. But I agree with our president. There's two sexes. There's man and there's woman, or there's boys and there's girls. And I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of the school thinking they have to teach my kids, my grandkids, sex education when they have no clue what it is. When they think it's okay to give a 15-year-old girl condoms so if she goes out on a date with her boyfriend, she has protection. No, you give her the common sense that it's not right to do it at 15 years old. I'm going to stand and play the music and say the pledge because I want to calm down a little bit, because that is something that really burns my rear end. So kids that follow us, listen to what I'm saying. If you're a boy, you go to the boys' bathroom. If you're a girl, you go to the girls' bathroom. But you don't go together. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Things were gone. I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again. Just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. Cause there ain't no doubt as
I'll get you something in a few minutes, okay?
God bless the USA.
What do you want? That's nice, okay?
From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say,
I'm going to be doing my promo while I'm doing this. Okay? Thank you.
Next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land.
Yes, I'm proud to be an American. And yes, we are free. And Bill Woods, you nailed it. Bill Woods says families for prayers for all the family that lost loved ones related to that terrible accident last night with the jet and military Black Hawk chopper. Yes, everybody keep them in your prayers. That is a terrible, terrible thing. It's something that should never happen, but we don't know why they do. I know I got a little bit riled, but that's a subject that really, really gets me. And I want to talk about some things now that I think are very important. And one of the things that I want to talk about is the new press secretary. Has anybody had the privilege to see her speak? I really like her. I wanted Kayla McInerney back as his press secretary, but he brought a girl in, and I seen her in about 4 videos last night. And boy, she handles herself. She's not like this last girl that was with the other side. And the whole thing is, I think the other girl just got caught up in a whirlwind, because I really believe she could be a very nice, very sweet lady. But I just think she showed up at the wrong place at the wrong time. And that happens. I know the very last press conference she had, there was a lot of laughing and joking, and she has a radiant smile. But this new one, she seems like she's really a true patriot. And one of the subjects that was discussed last night, and I want to discuss this with you guys right now. One of the subjects that was discussed last night was 137 people just got put on a plane to go home because they're illegal. And the guy who was answering the question, the fake news, the people who's going bye-bye, he says to her, he says, our newly elected president has said he's sending the criminals back home. But of the 137 that went back home, none of them were criminals in their country. How can you send someone back saying they're criminals when they're not? And her answer was plain and simple. Did they come into the United States? Yes. Did they come in legally? The guy looked and looked and looked like a deer caught in the headlights. And he goes, no. And he says, then they're criminals. They broke the law coming to the United States of America unlawfully. So they're criminals. So they go home. If they want to come back, they come back the right way. They come back the right way. She handled it with class. She even went on to say, they asked her a few more questions about our new president. And she says, look, I've been at every one of his events. I followed him. I was kind of told that I would be this job if he's elected, and I take it seriously. I will not dodge questions here. I will answer them to the best of my ability. But then again, I don't want stupid questions either. If I answer a question, I don't want another reporter to ask me the same question, just changing one news word. She put it out there, and I really, really appreciated it. But see, the guy said, well, they're not criminals. They came into our country illegally. They're criminals. And if you watch videos on TikTok and on YouTube and places like that, there is so many videos out there right now about why are we so worried about having them. Because Ask that little girl, that Larkin little girl's family, how they feel about these illegals. Let's have some compassion for the United States of America people and not worry about other countries' people. Why do you think other countries are shipping them over here? Because they don't want to deal with them. But we finally have someone with a backbone to run our country and the guts to do what has to be done. He's not going to come in here and say, let's say Jeffrey was a Democrat or a rat, okay? Let's say Jeffrey was that, not a patriot. And he's not going to come in here and sugarcoat something to Jeffrey. And I'm just picking your name out, buddy. It has nothing personal. It's just picking your name out. He's not going to sugarcoat it. He's going to tell facts are facts. And what's amazing, how people can be, I feel that when we became patriots, and Janet and Golden Arrow and Bill and Jeffrey and Russ, you guys, when you become patriots, how many of you think, some of your family members think you're loony? You're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I know mine does. But you know what's funny? Because what I tell them, it's amazing, because as long as I just wanted to be Ralph, as long as I just wanted to be the guy that beat the heck out of a golf ball, as long as I just wanted to be the guy to take my grandson fishing, as long as I just wanted to be the guy to take my granddaughters to movies, and I didn't want to really interact and learn. It was all there. Isn't it funny how in school I struggled to pass civics? I struggled to pass history. And now I know more than the civics and the history teachers. Why? Because we're a patriot and we do what we have to do. But here's a perfect example. I'm talking to someone today. I consider this person that I'm talking to one of the most intelligent people, or I did until today. Because I'm talking to him about the new press secretary the same way I just talked to you. And I'm talking to him about coming in illegally. They deserve to be deported. And he looked at me and he says, well, how are they supposed to come here? I said, the right way. Apply, get their papers and come over, and then apply for citizenship after they're here so long. And he said, do you know it takes years for that to happen? So I said, so you think it's okay for them to just come in, steal our jobs, take our money, and then they go back home if they get a lot of money? You think it's okay for people to just be able to do whatever they want to do wherever they want to do it? And he looked at me once again like a deer with the headlights. And I looked at him and I said, I consider you one of the smartest people I know. But the answer you just gave me there was one of the dumbest I've ever heard. I don't pull no punches, guys. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I'm sick and tired of being laughed at. It takes too long for them to get the paperwork. So I said, well, let me ask you this. You go borrow money to buy a house, which we all know that that's illegal anyway. We know where that comes from, but they don't. But you go buy money. You decide you want to move out and you buy a house. You borrow the money. Is it illegal if you don't pay it back? And I looked at him and he has no clue what I said. I said, technically speaking, it's not illegal. And he thought I was the dumbest person in the world. Once again, those who laugh first don't laugh last. We're about ready to cross the finish line. We have a guy with some stones that is going to get us across, and he's going to do it in great fashion. I heard him say yesterday, everything, the kids, the bad people, everything that we're waiting for will be done by Easter Sunday. He's also going to start celebrating a huge event on, I think it's Memorial Day weekend, and end it as 4th of July ends. There's big plans, guys, and I believe he's the one that's going to take us to these big plans. But it's just rough on me to realize how inept people are about what's going on in the world. They would rather a little boy go into a little girl's bathroom and everything be okay. They're okay with that. You know why? Because the teacher says it's okay. They better not say it's okay to my granddaughter. They better not say it's okay to my other two granddaughters. They better not say it's okay for little girls to go in to little boys' bathrooms because I will be the dentist. But one last thing on this subject I want to talk about, and I talked about it, touched on it yesterday, is teenage pregnancies. Isn't it amazing that when your mom and your dad used to set you down, you know, Janet, Jeffrey, I'm sure you had the talk, Golden Arrow, Bill Woods, I'm sure you had the talk, Labrador, you know, I'm sure all of you had the talk from your parents. Why? Because we grew up in an era where the parents took care of things like that. And there wasn't many teenage pregnancies. Now, oh no, we're going to let the school handle it. You're going out? You're going to homecoming this week, sweetie? Well, here, you better take a box of these things here for protection. What? If they'd ever said anything like that to my kids, I'd be in jail. I would. Let the parents teach the kids. I was listening to a sports radio show yesterday. I don't know why. I think I was just bored. All the driving I'm doing back and forth, the babysit back and forth to the hospital. And I was listening, and this guy comes on who's on the show, and he said his 13-year-old son approached him. And he said, Dad, is it okay if I start using a few different words that are not nice? And he says, what do you have in mind, son? He said, you know, just around the house or around my friends. And he says, what do you have in mind? And he said, you know, like the SH with an it word, you know, the HE and double toothpicks words. You need something? Hold on a second. I'll be right back. Oh, I'm here. Listen here. Little monkey needed an apple. Anyway, you know, I forgot where I was at. That's a heck of a getting up, you know. Anybody got any idea where I was at? Post it, please. And it'll probably come right back to me. I'm trying to kill time to see if I remember it. What was I talking about? Or don't you guys listen? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I know I was ranting and raving on the kids and the way that, you know, the kids are being portrayed using bad words. Thank you. So anyway, this disc jockey, he's talking, and he's kind of at a crossroads. So what he's decided to do, he cannot use them around the house, around the family. But he's out on the football field, basketball court, baseball diamond. If he happens to say it around his friends, if they're just walking in it and he happens to say, dang it, or, you know, okay, I won't say that one because I will not use God's name in vain. But, you know, the HE double toothpicks or the SH, you know, word, if he happens to use that and he's with his friends, it's just thing. If it comes into the house, then he gets punished. And I thought another guy sitting there saying, no, I think he should be able to use it around the house too. And he says, well, then you have a son, let him get 13 years old and you let your son say it. And I thought he handled it with great class, and I really enjoyed it. You know, it was a talk I never had to my kids. Until my daughter met her future husband, I never heard my daughter cuss. My son, it was just something that didn't happen around our household. My mom and dad, I heard my mom say a really bad word one time, and she broke down crying when she said it. And that's the truth. She said that duck word one time, and it slipped out. And I mean, she just literally sat on her kitchen chair and cried for almost 5 minutes because she did not. That was stuff that just didn't happen in our household. Did it happen when we was with our friends? Sure, it did. But there's places, times for everything. So, that being said, where are we now? Well, tonight is Brucey, and I'm sure that there's a lot of golden bundles to be sold and a lot of new products to be sold. And I just pray for these people that they're not pushing it too much. That's right. Never let your enemy know your next move. So, see, like Addison sitting right here watching her tablet, being very good, eating her apple, ignoring her grandpa, but smiling as she's doing it. So here, Senator John Kennedy, R in parentheses, Kash Patel, hearing this is golden. To Kash, you made a lot of people mad. You think you've made the right people mad? Question mark. Kennedy, Durbin calls you a conspiracy theorist. You were instrumental in revealing the election collusion was a hoax. Sounds to me we need to get some new conspiracy theories because all the old ones have turned out to be true. I really like that, the way it happened there. This was something about the crash. I'm not going to read that. See what else we got here, guys. The blackout has begun. All systems are go. The EBS is live moments ago. Multiple reports confirmed widespread power outages and communication blackouts across major cities worldwide. Armed forces are now in control of key infrastructure points, ensuring the safety of civilians while operations to dismantle the elite's power structure continue. Expect martial law protocols in high-risk areas as arrests escalate. 10 days of truth. The EBS will broadcast pre-recorded tribunals and classified evidence. Quantum systems are officially live, and the shift of the new financial system is underway. Digital accounts linked to elite operations have been seized, with wealth redistribution already in progress. The blackout may last longer than expected. Keep your loved ones close. Make sure you have essentials on hand and trust the process. The worst is over. The best is yet to come. Very important reference here. And what's frustrating, if you're attacking the people, they want you to reinforcing the matrix. Do you know your enemy? It's not the Jews, Christians, Catholics, Muslims, British, Germans, Chinese, Republicans, Democrats, Laborers, Liberals, communism, capitalism, men, women, elderly, children, disabled, lesbian, and gay, ETX. It's the secret societies, Karazians, Zionists, private corporations, i.e. Royal Vatican, Roman Empire, Big Pharma, Big Tech, MSM. They get you to worship them, yet they continually break us apart. Got a couple more to read here, and then we're going to call it a day. We're a little over 30 minutes right now. This is one I didn't really understand, but I'm going to read it. Tanya Harding shows up on X the same day the plane carrying figure skaters crashes. Okay. We're also in the midst of a federal funding freezes and ice raids. You guys might know more about that than me. The stove is hot? Okay.
Good. Well, that's right. That looks cold. Dancers, warm up your engines. It's time to dance.
Taxes didn't exist 100 years ago. The inheritance tax, CDR cigarette tax, corporate tax, dog license tax, gasoline tax, fuel permit tax, grocery receipt tax, hunting license tax, inheritance tax, inventory tax, liquor tax, luxury tax, marriage license tax, medical tax, personal tax, property tax, recreational vehicle, road usage, school, state income, state unemployment, telephone federal, utility, telephone state and local tax, telephone usage charge, watercraft registration, vehicle sales tax. Still think this is funny? Not one of these taxes existed 100 years ago, and our nation was the most prosperous in the world. We had absolutely no national debt, had absolutely the largest, had the largest middle class in the world, and mom stayed home to raise kids. What the heck happened? Can you spell politicians? I hope this goes around the U.S. at least 545 times. You can help it get there. Go ahead, be an American, send this to everyone you know. Mississippi Sound. And guys, when you stop and think about it, 100 years ago, we was at our glory. Now, we weren't here, but history is history. And they say history repeats itself. And I believe history will repeat itself with the hat. I believe we're in for nothing but good things. You know, I have mentioned on here the year 2000. And you guys know what I mean by when I say 2000, that loved ones and all that, 2000 and after will be reunited. That's my feelings. And I tell people this, and I tried talking to my sister today about it. As you all know, my sister lost the love of her life, her husband, of married for 61 years. And she struggles still a year and a half later. So I asked her today, I said, sis, I said, you go to church, right? And she said, yes. I said, that's good. By going to church, why do you go? And she says, because of God and Jesus Christ. I said, so you put your heart and you believe in God and Jesus Christ, right? Yes. And I said, well, what if I was to tell you that without going to heaven, without passing away, there's a really, really good chance you're going to get to be with your husband again? And I think the remark was something like, I'd say he was crazy. And I said, well, can I have 2 minutes of your time to explain it? And I did. And all the while I did it, my sister sat there like this. Just that smug little look on her face that, you know, you just want to pop it off. But I held my cool. And I said, you don't believe me, huh? She says, I'll believe it if it happens. And I said, well, let me ask you a question. Right now, how do you feel it's the only way that you're going to be able to see your husband again? And she said, when God takes me home. I said, but if God's saying that he can bring him back here, you don't believe it? Well, you see, if you believe it and you admit you believe it, you're gonna open yourself to scrutiny and people might laugh at you. But wouldn't it be better to live in a world of hope, a world that you might be able to, this might happen? You know, and let's start out. Let's go back to the very first two. He only created two people. Two people. Adam and Eve. He created them. But yet, we have over 8 billion people in the world. So if this man God who I believe in with all my heart, I talk to every day. I looked at her and I said, if he can start with 2 people and now have over 8 billion, and how many has passed and left? Why can't we have heaven on earth? And that's what I'm going to leave with you guys. Why can't this happen? Why can't we have heaven on earth? I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Lots of love from Ron and myself. I'm so lucky, and so is Ron, to have you as our family. With all our love, Ron and Ralph saying bye. Have a great day.